All right, guys, here we are on the verge of another season. And does anybody really care all that much right now? I don't know. It's tough times in the Pac 12. I'll put it like that. If you are a fan of a Pac 12 team, it's probably feeling a little weird right now. Whether you're a team that has been in the Pac whatever for forever and has already secured a transfer to a completely different conference, or you're a team that's trying to figure out which conference to go to now that the Pac 12 is melting into nothing, or you're desperately trying to find somebody that will take you when the Pac 12 collapses, it's weird. I mean, sure, you'd probably rather be one of the teams that actually has somewhere to go that is good. You'd certainly prefer that to becoming Mountain West team, right? You'd much rather have a secure spot in the Big 12 or Big 10 or Big whatever than basically a Division 1AA conference, right? But it's weird. And as a Huskies fan, a team that is not yet committed to anything, it's it's kind of sad. We have these great rivalries. We have these great back and forths with our rivals. And granted, the Pac 12 ref thing was pretty bad. We had some atrocious referees in the conference, so maybe it's kind of nice to start to move away from that stigma, but I think we'll find that the referees in other conferences aren't going to be that much better once we're actually there. But yeah, I don't know. College football's becoming a little bit of a tougher sell these days for me. But here's the thing. When you look at other sports teams that I root for, the Seahawks, the Mariners, eventually the Sonics, I root for those teams because they happen to play in a city that is very close to where I grew up and where I currently live. I am a Washington Husky. Not that I ever played for the team, but I'm actually an alumni of the college. I went to the college. I graduated from the college. So that's not something you just lose just because things are weird. It's not something you lose just because the team is bad. And on that note, this team, I don't think they're going to be bad like they were last year, but it is going to be a process to rebuild from the garbage that was the 2021 Washington Huskies football team. So we've got a new coach, DeBoer, and I like him. I thought it was a good hire. I thought it made sense. I like some of the stuff that he's doing so far, but it's the first year. These are still not all of, but a lot of these players belong to the old regime that got pushed out. So immediately you go, hey, things could go poorly, and you got to live with it. You got to give it some time. You got to let those players go elsewhere or declare for the draft or move on with their lives. And you've got to let the new recruiting classes start to take root. So DeBoer is going to need some time with this organization. I guess that's not really the right word because it's a college program. I guess you should call it a program. But looking at what we have, obviously I was a little bummed that Heward could not win the starting quarterback job, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. And it sounded to me like the dude was not ready. Penix, on the other hand, or Penix, he seems like he's ready. He's been a dynamic playmaker for some time now. He just can't stay healthy. So there's no reason to not put him in there while he's actually healthy. Get what you can. And anticipate the fact that, hey, you may need to put Dylan Morris back in there, which, I mean, who's enthusiastic about that? I know, but if not him, then it is Heward. So, you know, you might see all three quarterbacks play at least some this year. I think there's a very good chance of that. I think our offensive line is going to be good at the tackle spots. Jackson Kirkland shaping up to be a really good player. The inside, I don't know. We got to get better at run blocking. I think I know that. We've got some good running backs. We got the Virginia transfer over, and I think he's going to be real good. We lost, McGrew. We finally lost McGrew. So it's not It's not great. It's not awesome. It's not perfect. But I do think our backfield's going to be good. The wide receivers, I'm not in love with our receiving options right now. We obviously lost K. Doughton, who was, as much as he didn't put up big numbers last year, was probably our most reliable receiving target. We still have Odunze, who led the team in actual stats last year, but I'm not crazy about him. And I think it's going to be an offense that is very, very focused on running the ball, and I can't argue with that. There's certainly nothing wrong with a lot of running the ball, but I I see the Seahawks and the Huskies having not similar styles of offense, but they both similarly try to protect lackluster passing games by running the ball a good amount. So, yeah. Defensively, obviously the area to improve from last year is the run defense. I know we have some bigger guys on the defensive line now. We always seem able to import a couple of Samoans who are just like big and stout and just you're not running on them. Last year, they ran all over us. So this year, hopefully the addition of a couple of those guys. And I think we're really good at linebacker. I think we've got some really nice linebackers. Maybe it's not going to be what it was when we had like the true studs, like when BBK was all over the field for us that one year, or those couple of years. But I think our linebacker core is going to be really good. And for a team that really couldn't stop the run at all last year, I do think we're going to improve in that area, and that's exciting. That's got to be the first step here. I don't know about the rest of it. The pass rush, I think it'll be okay. I'm not super enthused about it. And the secondary, look, we generally field good secondaries, but a lot of the people responsible for that are not here anymore. And more importantly, we lost our 2 starting corners to the NFL. So while this team should be better at stopping the run, I'm also wondering if we're going to be able to stop the pass. So you add it all up, and it's a team that's going to be strong in some areas. We should be able to run the ball and stop the run. Passing the ball and stopping the pass? Not so sure. The schedule is manageable. We've got the opener against Kent State on Saturday. I'm not going to do a preview video for that. This is the preview. That's a game you should win handily. It's kind of like when we played Montana last year, and the fact that we lost that game told you everything you needed to know about this team. So, yeah, we better not do that again. You've got Portland State, and then you actually get into some of the tougher opponents, and then the conference play. Michigan State, 15th, one of 2 teams we play that are currently ranked this year. So it's not a bad schedule, but these teams are not going to be pushovers either. Stanford, UCLA, Arizona State, Arizona, Cal, Oregon State, Colorado, Washington State. Like, you look at this schedule and you're like, we should be able to notch some wins there. Even if we're not great in a few areas, we can make the game about the things that we are great at, like running the ball and stopping the run. At least I hope we'll be great in those areas, or much improved. Let's just leave it at that for now. How about that? So the schedule makes me think we can get to about 8 wins, but I don't like our chances when we run into an opponent like a Michigan State or an Oregon. So I'm going to say 8 wins. We lose to Michigan State, Oregon, Washington State, and I'd probably go something like Arizona State, I guess. It could be there could be another loss somewhere in there. We could definitely lose in UCLA. We could lose in California, I think. It's going to be a process to get this team back to where it was, but that's okay. So that's my preview for the Huskies. I know there wasn't a whole lot here, but I don't have a ton to say right now, guys. It's weird being a college football fan. I mean, specifically a Pac-12 college football fan, where you're just watching the conference fall apart, and it's very clear at this point it's going to happen, and it's hard to care as much as you used to. I'm just going to say it. So, okay, I'm going to go 7 or 8 wins. I'm going to say 8. I'm going to be a little bit bold. Team will be decent. Team will be a little above average. It helps playing the Pac-12, obviously. We'll get a bowl game, but I don't see this being the great year that it could be in a few years when we have a full crop of DeBoer's recruits running the team. So let me know what you guys think about the Huskies this year. I'm hoping for something a lot better than last year. I'm hoping for some reason to believe if Heward gets in at some point, I'm hoping that he the quarterback of the future, because the early reports have not really been encouraging, which is definitely unfortunate. And yeah, I'm just hoping I can kick back on Saturdays, or mostly Saturdays, and enjoy some college football without thinking about all the stuff that is going on right now. So that's the best I can do, guys. I know it's not a great preview. I know there isn't a whole lot going on here, but it's just hard to get it up the way I used to. I will say this. I do plan on streaming the game, streaming watch-alongs for the Husky games. So if that's something that interests you, swing on by on occasional Saturdays. All right, see you guys later. Bow down to Washington and go Huskies.